Have you guys heard of the Mahendra? How do you say his name? Have you guys heard of the Mahendra Patel and the Carolyn Miller case? This girl from Georgia claimed that this man tried to kidnap her baby at a Walmart like a month ago. And now this man's lawyer finally got a hold of the Walmart security footage and revealed that he didn't even try to take this girl's baby. It was just a complete lie. She has had lawsuits against Uber with allegations against Uber drivers we're going to get into later on in the video. But she got this man locked up. He's in jail without a bond, even though there's evidence proving that he did not try to kidnap her child. The man went to Walmart to get Tylenol and asked this lady if she knew where the Tylenol was. And then next thing you know, after he leaves, she calls the police 30 minutes later and pretends that he tried to kidnap her child. Like, we need to lock her up ASAP. So let's look at this Inside Edition clip. This is the clip I originally came across, and I think this explains this perfectly.
Snatching a little boy. The shopper in this
whole situation makes me so mad. If I said how I really felt about this girl, this whole video would be taken down off YouTube.
Video is accused of a terrible crime, snatching a little boy at Walmart. The mother's accusation was disturbing.
Did someone try to take you from mommy?
Yeah.
Caroline Miller says
she's got the baby out here lying too.
It started when
this is like Munchausen by proxy, like what Gypsy Rose's mother had. Lying for freaking attention.
Asked where he could find Tylenol at a Walmart in Atlanta.
It's over there. And as soon as I did that, that's when he just picked him up out of my arms.
What followed, she said, was a tug of war over the kid. She called 911.
I was in the Walmart and I had to rip my baby out of some other man's hands because he was trying to snatch him.
Someone trying to snatch your baby?
Yes.
56-year-old Mahendra Patel was charged with kidnapping and simple assault. But this newly released surveillance tape appears to paint an entirely different picture, showing Patel asking Miller about the Tylenol. And you can see her pointing toward the drug aisle.
What is going on there? Because that is the point.
Thank God there were cameras there, guys. Just imagine if there weren't cameras there.
Where she is alleging he was trying to grab her son and she was pulling him back.
Her children are sort of hanging off of this cart, and you see Mr. Patel almost lean in to help. And then moments later, literally split seconds later, she starts to rise to point out the Tylenol. Then within 1 or 2 seconds after that, you see her in a screen laughing with another gentleman.
The tape shows that.
Okay, so let me pause this real quick. She's riding around on a cart for disabled people. She was asked in an interview why she was on that cart, and if she's disabled. She admitted she isn't. Her kids just wanted to ride on it. And she's got her 2 children hanging off like at the bottom. And at one point, after she encounters this man, I don't believe they showed on this video. I'll show you guys in a separate video where we're going to look at even more of the footage. But after this man asked her for the Tylenol, she literally backs up into a display. One of her kids falls out the cart, and then she runs over her kid with the cart. And so no wonder people are trying to stop and help her.
Shows that minutes after she claimed he tried to kidnap her son, there was a subsequent encounter where Patel shows the woman he found the Tylenol. He then checks out, stops to talk to an employee, then leaves.
I think it's crystal clear from the video. You can see that there's no assaulting conduct. You can see there's no battery. You can see he doesn't actually take the child from the mother.
The shopper in this video.
And this man is being held on no bond for over 32 days at this point. By the time I upload this, it's probably going to be 33 days. And his next court date is not until May 6th, where he'll have a bond hearing. And hopefully they present this evidence, but it just goes to show how messed up the American criminal justice system is, that they can just arrest anyone off some claims without, like arrest first, ask questions later. That's scary. So let me look at some more. I want to look at the Uber allegations, and then we're going to look more at some of the security footage. We're just going to look at a few short clips. But like a month ago, everyone was rallying around this lady saying, oh my gosh, her kid got kidnapped. Watch out for your children in Walmart. And now this has been exposed. They need to lock her ass up right now. Apparently his friends called him Mick for short, and one of his friends said, my friend is still sitting in jail. And this is April 1st, like a week after he was initially arrested, and they're like asking why haven't they went and investigated anything. And I wonder, like, why did it take so long for them to release the surveillance footage? I would think, like, typically, like, if they have shoplifting incidents, they're able to retrieve the camera footage the same day. So I don't understand why it took a whole month and for him to have to hire a lawyer to get that brought out. Maybe they're afraid of getting sued. Maybe the police department's afraid of getting sued, because I feel like the police officers should have went and reviewed the security footage before they just jumped the gun and arrested the man. Then this girl has her child out here lying, and has her child probably really believing that someone tried to hurt him and take him. That's just beyond disturbing. So upon some research, Mick's friend was able to expose that yes, this same girl accusing him of kidnapping has been involved in a Lyft SA lawsuit. So this is an article where it shares in this December 2019 photo, Caroline Miller poses for a photo in Cartersville, Georgia. She is one of more than a dozen women who jointly filed a lawsuit against Lyft after she claims she was essayed in a Lyft on her birthday. So I'm sharing from an article from the Rideshare Essay Lawyers website, and Carolyn, I don't know if it's Carolyn or Caroline, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but she was quoted saying Lyft is fostering a vile and dangerous business practice, and this is why I'm suing. Cartersville, Georgia resident Carolyn Miller celebrated her 21st birthday on August 30th of 2019. She was out drinking with friends, so she did not feel safe driving home in her car, so she left her car near where she worked. And when she was at home, she decided to retrieve her car so she could get to work later on that day without having to have to pick it up during the morning commute. So she ended up calling for a Lyft, and she got in the Lyft and she claimed she was so drunk she passed out in the back seat. And then she claimed she suddenly woke up at 3 a.m. and she was shocked because she claims this guy was like on top of her, taking advantage of her. She said that she was so scared that she was going to be kidnapped or hurt that she decided to go along with it because she had no way to defend herself. And she said, how could I defend myself? He was about 6'5" and I'm only 5'4". I had no chance in hell. And she said she was desperately texting her boyfriend to call 911, and she used a pretext to avoid going to a hotel. She said, I told the driver I have asthma and my inhaler was in my car, so I said I need to stop by my car first and then we could go to a hotel. And a few minutes later, I woke up and I couldn't believe what was happening. He had his hands down my pants, he was groping and R-wording me. Then he started talking about taking me to a hotel. I was freaking out. I can't tell you how scared I was, but I went along with him and told him that I needed to retrieve my inhaler out of my car before we went to a hotel. The lit vehicle was right alongside hers as she waited for police to arrive. And they ended up showing up about 30 seconds later. She said they arrested the driver on the spot, but I was so shaken up they wouldn't let me drive my car. And here's the thing. I don't want to say that situation's not true, but from what she did in this situation at Walmart and these false allegations, it's definitely making me second guess and have a lot of doubts about what she's saying here. Like, all Lyft or Uber drivers need to keep dash cams in their cars for this reason, in case anybody tries to come up with any kind of allegations like this. Luckily, there were cameras in Walmart, but this guy didn't have cameras in his car, so we really don't know what happened that night. But she was coming out and saying, I know speaking out is going to make a difference. I want other people to know it's okay to speak out. The shame is not on you. The shame is on them. It's so wrong, and we can only do something about it if we speak out. And I guess she said that she was trying to have every driver recorded as a way to prevent this in the future. I want to show a few last clips. So this shows that this girl was struggling with her kids. She was struggling with her kids on her lap. It's just not a safe situation to be having two kids on a cart like that. And so he offers to help her with her falling child. And I do want to stop. Hang on. Let me give a shout out to the YouTube channel 11 Alive for this footage. This was released from the Merchant Law Firm, which I'm assuming is his lawyer's law firm. And so this is an employee. Here she backs up into the display. Whoopsie. And there's an employee there she's laughing and giggling with. And then you see the child falling out. And this guy's offering, hey, can I help you with your child? And he comes over to try to help with the daughter. And the crazy thing is, this is even the guy she accused. And she's sitting there talking to the employee. Where's it at? At one point, like, the child falls out and then she runs over the child. Like, she's clearly struggling with these kids and people are just trying to be good citizens and help. Here she is talking to the guy. She's asking the employee for help. He finally finds what he's looking for. And then he walks past her and shows her, hey, look, I found the Tylenol. Thank you. There's no touching. There's no grabbing. She's just sitting there, still struggling with her kids. Then she talks to the employee. I'm not sure what she's telling the employee. Is she's like reporting the kidnapping at this point. I heard she didn't even report the kidnapping to police till 30 minutes after it allegedly happened. So he pays for the Tylenol. He's not in no big rush to try to get out of there or anything. Like, he just tried to kidnap a child. And if he would have tried to kidnap the child, then why didn't we not see a struggle? The only struggle we saw was her struggling with her kids on that damn cart that she shouldn't even have been in to begin with. Taking that cart away from another disabled person who really needs it. But I really think it's probably just because she was lazy. Let's be honest. Okay, he checks out. He pays for his stuff. He talks to the employee. Probably goes in there all the time like, hey, buddy, I found me my Tylenol. Give me some dinner. All right, bro, you have a good night. You know, we don't know what was said here. But he's just chatting it up. He taps him on the shoulder like he talks to him often. Walks out. He's not trying to flee. He's calmly leaving the store. I'm sorry, this just makes me so angry. They need to free this guy ASAP, and they need to give this man some restitution. And I really feel they need to make an example out of this girl. This girl needs to be getting locked up for at least 10 years, in my opinion. I know that may sound extensive, but she was trying to get this guy on some charges that could have got him locked up for years. They do not play with kidnapping charges. He could have been facing 10 to 30 years in prison for this. I mean, he's already spent a month away from his family. So I really hope that they free him at his next court date here in 2 weeks. I'll definitely be following this case. I just think it's so sad, man. I feel like the fact that there's evidence proving that he's innocent, they should be willing to free him today. But I know they have a whole court of law and they have to go by the steps. But Mahendra Patel, even his friend that we covered at the beginning of the video, said, how the hell did the news get access to this story so quick? Someone had to tell them, and they feel like it was Carolyn, which it wouldn't surprise me. And, you know, she obviously wanted attention and sympathy from this whole situation. That's why she went running to the news so fast to tell her story. And that's what she did with this whole Lyft lawsuit. She was going on a whole press tour after she was involved with this Lyft lawsuit. But let me know what you guys think. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll definitely be following this court case and keep you guys updated.